Thank you very much for your time. I know you are going crazy with so many press and so many interviews, and you're literally releasing the film all over the world. So I'm so happy to have you. And I want you to know that I have a special connection with Golda that I'll tell you later when we finish this interview. And I was so excited about this interview and about this film. When I heard you were going to direct it, I was chasing it, and I think I sent you a message because I have a connection with her, and I'm sure you have a connection with Golda. But I want to know why you chose Golda as the thread of your story. You had so many prime ministers to choose that actually made peace. Why are you connected with Golda?
Well, she's the only woman that was prime minister or that was in a leading role in politics at that era, right? She was, if you look at, there weren't a lot of women leading a country, and she paved the way. She paved the way to Margaret Thatcher and Angela Merkel and women after her. But she was pioneer in a way. So it was very special. And also, I wanted to do her right after she was kind of the scapegoat of the war, and everybody blamed her for the failure of this war. She was I wanted to clean her story a little bit and to tell it right.
You decided to make this story. I love the fact that you were talking about Yom Kippur War. I love the fact that you were talking about Golda during the war, but you didn't put a war on the screen. Like, you are an Israeli, you went to the army, you know how a war feels, and you also were born during Yom Kippur War. Am I right with that? Why you chose to not put the war on screen?
Well, because Golda, I wanted us to go into Golda's head, and she was stuck in the bunker, in those offices, in the committees, in this, like, she was not allowed to go there and see the actual front. So I wanted us to feel what she felt, because it's kind of like a magnifying glass under her skin.
And you knew that Golda was that ill. Like, I knew that she was ill with your film. It is amazing the way you treat the direction to make Helen. We're going to talk about her right now, but how you make her be like Golda, this prime minister, and then having her at her home, like literally dying. How you did that? How was working with Helen, and how was directing her? What was the main thing what you struggled the most working with Helen? That I'm sure it's not struggling working with her. She's an amazing actress, but how was working with her?
It's like working with one of the best actors in the world, in the history. I mean, she's everything. You can't go wrong. She's brilliant. She's kind, and she is creative, and she's giving me as a director a lot of space and a lot of place to my thoughts and to my creative process. So it was amazing. I mean, she's the best.
What was her reaction when she saw herself for the first time as Golda? What she said?
She was amazed. I mean, she went into this trailer for 2.5, 3 hours to become Golda. She came out and she was just like her. She was amazing.
And you could choose any Israeli Jewish actress for this role. Why you chose Helen Mirren? You went to her, she went to you. How was the decision? Why you casted Helen Mirren for this important historical role?
I think that I didn't cast Helen. When I joined the project, she was already attached to play Golda. The grandson of Golda thought about Helen to play the role. He was the first one who really said, "That's my grandmother. I see Helen. I see my grandmother." So I guess the producer heard that, and they sent the script to Helen. She read it. After 2 days, she said, "I'm in." And then I came to pitch my take on the film, and then we met at my place in the middle of the pandemic, and we spoke for 3 hours, and we understood that we are on the same page, and it was from there, it was easy for me.
I read an interview that you did where you were talking about a Jewish soul. Like you wanted to talk to her because you wanted to know if she had this Jewish soul. What do you mean about that Jewish soul for you? Like, yeah, what do you mean about that? It was very interesting for me to read that.
First of all, that Helen, at the age of 29, went to Israel to a kibbutz. She was volunteered in the kibbutz Haon. She picked tomatoes. She was like touring the country from north to south. She slept on the beach. She was like kind of like hitchhiking. It was very kind of a romantic trip for her that she'd never forget. And she told me she felt like she's a Jewish person traveling her own country. She felt that she's belonging to this. And she portrayed Jews before, she portrayed it in in the film The Dead, she portrayed, and Women in Gold, she portrayed Jewish. So I saw her portraying Jewish women before. But when I met her, I felt that I'm meeting my mom. I felt that I'm talking to my mom, actually. I felt so at ease, and so like she's one of my family member.
Wow, that sounds super amazing. What a crazy time to release a film right now. Not only because what is happening in Hollywood, but releasing this film right now for what is happening in Israel. Like, I don't want to talk about the situation because it is too complicated and we're not talking about politics. But do you think Israel need more political leaders, women political leaders? Do you think that the history can change if we have in Israel more political leaders?
First of all, I think that Israel needs a non-corrupted leader like we have now. And I think that I miss those leaders that are actually saying, it's on me. I am resigning because this is on me. Show me a leader that would do it today. I also think that we need a leader that care about the country and not about himself or herself, And the other thing is that I think that women would do a better job than men leading this world in general. I really believe that I want to see more women in key roles and leading countries because the men are doing it wrong. So yes, the answer is yes. I mean, the political situation in Israel is crazy. We call it the Yom Kippur of democracy. And, it is Yom Kippur of democracy when you have Benjamin Netanyahu trying to diminish the judicial system, and women's rights is dire in Israel. It's like really in a bad shape. And you see the extreme religious taking over all the budget and everything. And it's just bad, and when you don't put your trust in the judicial system, in the high court, a lot of corruption happens, and that's what happens in Israel right now. That's why me, my friends, my family, Yom Kippur veterans, we are demonstrating. We're going to the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, and we're just demonstrating, and we will not let that happen. And hopefully the judicial system in Israel will say to Benjamin Netanyahu, stop. That's it. Not anymore, and hopefully he will obey the law, because if he says I'm the law, we're in great trouble, and that's a civil war. And so I'm just being gentle. This film symbolized for a lot of Israelis kind of a full circle. So the Yom Kippur commanders were blind to each other and to what's happening, and now Bibi and his team and his cabinet is blind to what's happening, when many pilots and people are saying we are not serving the king, we are serving the kingdom. So that's a little bit of what I think about the situation.
I think about cinema, I think about films as a great change maker, as a big change maker. And I'm sure this film will be amazing. And everywhere you release it, it's going to be amazing. Everyone will love it because you treat Golda as a powerful woman she was. But do you think, for Israeli politics, this can make a change on people's, and I don't know if on political decisions, but do you think it can make a change on the thought of the not democracy, not like he's not the king. You just said it. People is serving the kingdom, not the king. Do you think your film can make a difference on how it's and on what is happening right now in Israel? Like going back to Golda, do you think they can change their minds?
No, I don't think it will change. I don't think, I think it will change maybe the narrative of how we depict Golda and how people think about Golda. That's true. But to bring more people to the streets, I think that what the government is doing now is bringing enough people to the street to demonstrate. I don't think this movie will make even more change. I just think it's a piece of history that a lot of people in Israel think that Golda is an ice cream, because there's a
What do you mean?
big ice cream company named Golda in Israel. So a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
people who are 29, 21, 19, 18, 16, they do not know who Golda is, even because the country was so ashamed of Golda, of what happened, and the fact that she was part of this debacle, this big failure of Yom Kippur, that there's not a lot of schools with her name. There's not a lot of parks with her names, and or streets under her name. Now I hope that's another a new narrative of who Golda was. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this film, and I wish I would be there with you right now to watch it with you and talk about everything with you. And just remember that this film is dedicated to all the soldiers that lost their lives in the war, and people who are still struggling with a PTSD and still wounded from this 73-year war that was so horrible. And this is for the Golda remembrance and who she was. And I think that if you can help other people know about it, please write about it, post about it, and that's it. Just wish I would be there with you.